off tonight on TNT. After 1 month of the Major League Baseball season, Dodgers shortstop Mookie Betts leads the majors with a .377 batting average. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 is the fastest growing talk radio station in Southern California. Home to 50,000 watts and an audience reach of 12 million listeners. KBLA Talk 1580 is a pioneer for Black audio content, including our groundbreaking $2 million climate justice campaign and the most loyal, influential audience. According to an independent research study by the polling firm Aviterus, for the second consecutive year, KBLA Talk 1580 is the most trustworthy, reliable, and credible news source for Black audiences and beyond in Southern California. Let KBLA Talk 1580 power your advertising dollars. Our omni-channel custom marketing solutions are specifically tailored to connect with your ideal target audience. We leverage audio, podcasts, streaming, digital, social media, and local activations to get your message out to the Black community. Get in touch with our advertising team today at advertising@KBLA1580.com. That's advertising at KBLA1580.com. KBLA 1580. We've got you Black.
First things first.
Things first, it's the DU General, Money B. I'ma put you up on the schedule, 6 to 9, 8 weekdays, not 2 and 7. Let's go. We got a lot to talk about, so much to pedal through. Unapologetically progressive. Tune to KBLA 1580 to get the mess. We're your ancestors' favorite radio station. First Black on talk radio, left side of the nation. Me and Dominique DiPrima go way back. Tate, smiling, making sure the station stays black. Discussing all the issues in our community. We're hosted Black and Brown and others find unity. So let's talk about it. Maybe we can improve it. Digital underground, always down with the movement. So we tune in. The first things first with the queen of Black Talk Radio, Dominique DiPrima. Go sis.
First things first.
KBLA Talk 1580. Good morning and God bless. I'm Dominique DiPrima. This show is called First Things First. My first thing today and every day, giving thanks, giving praises, asking for blessings from God, asking for the blessings of the ancestors and the elders, and let's get it going. Let's do this. We have a lot to talk about. I'm pretty sure you know how we do it, but if you're new, welcome. Hour one. We typically focus on what's going on around here, left coast side of town. Hour two, we do national, international, and beyond. And then the third hour, we do a deep dive on some kind of topic or a person that you want to know. And today is Wealth Building Wednesday, so we'll meet a local or not so local, Black-owned, socially innovative, woman-owned, BIPOC-owned business. We focus on building you up. And in the third hour, we'll be talking with Kara James, who is a nurse, and she's got some really powerful information on Black women's health. Joining me right now, though, from the Teamsters Local 848, the Secretary-Treasurer. He started as a Teamster back in '92 when he was hired by Laidlaw Transit as a bus driver, and he went on to become shop steward and became Steward of the Year, and became a business representative, a political coordinator, and spearheaded Senate Bill 158 with the help of Teamsters state lobbyists. He did this while attending night school, graduating cum laude with a bachelor's degree in science. He's getting embarrassed just hearing his bio. I know the feeling. He then became, in 2009, Secretary Treasurer of Teamsters Local 848. And welcome, Eric Tate.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Great
thanks
to be
for
here.
coming in studio.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think especially for Black folks, we a lot of times people have misconceptions about unions unless they're in one, or sometimes even when they're in one. Um, but I think we forget how important the union movement is in general to lifting black folks into the middle class and beyond.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Without the Teamsters, I wouldn't have been where I'm at. It was being a Teamster and working as a bus driver, which gave me the drive to do more and get more involved in organizing and understanding how we can help each other to grow in any industry that we're working in.
Yeah, I always say that unions are made up of their members.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It's the people that are members of the
Yeah.
union, because we have these kind of, I think, Hollywood stereotypes about who union people are. There's union people, bosses, and then there's us, right?
Yeah, and there's good and bad of everything, of course. So I'm not gonna make it seem like all union bosses are saints, but for the most part, we're out there trying to help the common man or the middle class grow and be a bigger part of America.
Yeah. What drew you into the movement?
I had the benefit of seeing a great Teamster, which was Jim Samtangelo. At the time, he was a vice president. He was secretary treasurer of the local. He was the joint council president. So I got to see him in action and up close, and just wanting to follow in his footsteps. And when he decided to retire, he said I was the one who was going to take over, which was a great honor.
Yeah, it's like a mentoring situation.
So I was the first black person he hired at the local and first black principal officer on the West.
Are we doing a better job? Well, I know you can't speak for all unions, so let's talk about yours.
Right.
Are you doing a better job now of bringing in more black folks, you think?
Definitely. Black folks and women. I think in my local, I push hard for women to be a part of the Teamsters and be a part of it. We have a women's caucus in our local that, we send them to they're going to Puerto Rico this year, but every year there's a trip that they get to go to. And then I'm also, I'm the vice chairman of the Teamsters National Black Caucus. So,
Who knew there was such a thing?
Exactly. A lot of black people inside the Teamsters don't know such a thing.
Yeah.
And we're constantly having to tell them, come be a part of this. We want to teach you how to navigate your way through the Teamsters, because a lot of times you get thrown into a position like I did, and there's no one there to help you understand how to do this job.
Okay, so for those of us who, are less familiar, what does the Teamsters cover? I mean, I know your local is specific, but as an umbrella and also as a local.
Actually, my local is not Pacific. We do anything and everything. Everybody else has jurisdictions. You have the Teachers Union, and IBW does electrical. Teamsters are putting their hand on everything. So from UPS to Coca-Cola to the ports to the airline division. I mean, we're touching it. Cannabis, we're going after everything.
Cannabis.
Oh yes, cannabis. So.
What does that mean in terms of unionizing it, or
distribution?
Really
and,
interesting.
And transportation.
It looks like the Biden administration is about to reclassify cannabis from Schedule 1 to Schedule 3. That's what was announced or leaked out yesterday.
Yeah.
So that's gonna, if that happens, which they seem to be committed to, that's gonna raise the volume on that.
Yeah, biggest problem with dealing with cannabis today is being able to put the money in the bank.
Because they can't.
It's federal guidelines against that. So even the union dues, if they send the dues directly to us, then there's problems and they could come after your bank account and so forth. So you have to collect the dues the old school way, which is person by person.
Wow, it's like the prohibition or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, but it looks like the Biden administration is taking a step towards ending that. It was a huge victory last year, right? We thought that there was going to be a strike, speaking of UPS and those drivers nationally, and what happened?
I don't have UPS in my local, so I don't. I wasn't involved in that directly, but I thought it was going to happen. I thought they were going on the street, and they deserve everything that they fought for, and I'm told that it was a great contract. Yeah,
I mean, I felt like, that was like they were literally going to cancel Christmas because everybody orders everything online now. It was about to shut it down. But it does feel like, I know that labor is a movement, but it does feel like a moment right now.
This is what we call our heyday. I think a lot of people are coming to us. Usually we were out in the streets chasing people down, trying to explain to them what the union does and get them to join. They're knocking on their doors now.
Really?
Yeah, they're coming to us and they're asking for help, which is a great thing, because I think the more if we can get it, like some of the other countries, France, they are 80 or 90% union over there. And if we can get this country,
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's a major union company, and if we can get this country in that direction, where it's majority union rather than being a minority, then I think people will be able to have a decent living in this country.
Yeah, for various reasons, people have. I think a lot of it is just the way unions are portrayed in the media and such. I always try to take the opposite approach. We don't realize how much of a difference they make in people's quality of life. So when you say people are knocking on your door, are you saying they're trying to join the Teamsters, or they're trying to form unions in whatever area? Because I know Starbucks and Trader Joe's and a lot of companies, the fast food workers, a lot of folks are really on the move. Yeah. Are those the folks that are knocking on your door, or are you talking about people who say, I want to be a Teamster?
It's just regular companies off the street that they're calling up on the phone and saying, hey, can you guys come and organize my workplace?
Wow.
And then we have people coming and saying, hey, I need to get a union job. They have a job, but
they want a union job.
I want a union job because I want to, you get the medical and the retirement.
Yeah.
And the Teamsters, Western Conference Teamsters pension is the greatest in the nation. So
too bad I'm not a good driver. But the thing about it is too, though, at this stage in our nation where literally having a pension is rare, right? Mm-hmm. And people are not able to retire. The vast majority of Americans are not able to retire. Now, Social Security, if the GOP has their way, is on the chopping block, especially for black people. Most black people, when they retire, if they don't have a union job, they're relying on Social Security. It seems like your vision of a much more widespread unionization makes sense in a time when the average company that's non-union is backing away from looking after you when you retire, and the government is talking about it as well.
Yeah, so I view, in driving, the pension, to me, not having one is a safety issue. If you're driving, you don't have a way to retire, you're going to continue to drive even long after you probably should have hung it up. And
good point.
I've had
can barely see, still driving.
Right.
Yeah.
Can't see. Reflexes are bad. We've had bus drivers that have killed citizens in the city, and that shouldn't have been behind the wheel anymore. Right. And so in my contracts, I'm telling them it's a safety issue to me. You have to have a pension so these people can enjoy their retirement. Because if they can't retire, they're going to continue driving, and then that's going to be a higher bill to pay down the road when you're trying to explain to somebody's family why their loved one was killed. Wow.
Yeah, I never thought about it like that. Yeah. But also, to have something to look forward to when you're done, because that's hard work.
Oh yeah.
That'll tax you after a while, I would think.
Yeah,
I'm not a good driver. I'm not a person that goes, hey, let's hit the road.
Yeah, I was a bus driver. Truck drivers try to say their job is a little bit more difficult. I disagree. My
squabble about
my packages or my product talks back. You make a wrong turn on a curve, they're going to call in and complain about your driving. So driving packages around, nobody, unless you cut somebody off on the road, nobody complains about it.
800-920-1580 if you want to have a conversation. You've got an event coming up. You're doing some charitable organizing alongside your union job, and we'll look at that and much more when we come forward. We're talking with Eric Tate, and you're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Do you support public education? More than 38,000 educators at United Teachers Los Angeles do too. Together, we have fought for a better public education for our students and communities, and having you on our side has been essential in our fight for better public schools. Together, we will continue to work for public schools with green spaces, more mental health staff, smaller class sizes at every grade level, and a higher investment in the Black Student Achievement Plan. We are UTLA, and you make us stronger.
The Supplemental Security Income Program provides monthly payments to help meet basic needs, like putting food on the table, paying the rent, or buying new shoes for growing feet. You may qualify if your income and financial resources are low, and you are 65 or older, or an adult or child with a disability, or who is blind. Call 1-800-772-1213 or go to ssa.gov/SSI to start to apply. Produced by Social Security at U.S. taxpayer expense.
A gain cent bead story. Jim was at the laundromat when he heard his ear said Maraca, senor, but his nose said, hey, freshest scent ever. Following his nose, Jim found a man pouring a bottle of gain scent beads into the washer. The scent, the freshness. Jim blurted, sir, your scent Maraca smell amazing. Actually, Jim, most noses call them gain scent beads. Try gain scent beads. Way fresher than detergent alone.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Race, culture wars, political turf battles, criminal justice and injustice, the courts. These are the conversations you won't hear elsewhere. My guests are leading journalists, celebrities, and sports figures, elected leaders, and influencers. They aren't afraid to get into it and say the quiet part out loud. With Areva Martin in real time, your commute just became the most engaging part of your day. Tune in weekdays from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. or find us on YouTube. Areva Martin in real time, when you want it straight, no chaser.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZQuil.
ZQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZQuil nights. Explore our products at ZQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Without the ones like you, who work tirelessly to keep things running, everything would suddenly stop. Hospitals, factories, schools, and power plants, they all depend on you. No matter the weather, emergency, or time of day, you're the ones who get it done. At Grainger, we're here for you with professional-grade industrial supplies. Count on real-time product availability and fast delivery. Call, clickgrainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DiPrima right now.
Right now, we're back to Dominique DiPrima and Eric Tate, Secretary Treasurer of the Teamsters Local 848. And I feel your pain there in the YouTube chat. You know, sad about the Lakers. I know Miles is sad about the Lakers too. Me too, even though I haven't been tracking the season like I normally would, but I didn't ask Miles about it yesterday because I know it was still fresh. Are you a basketball fan?
I do like basketball. My favorite player is Jordan, Michael Jordan, of course, and Kobe Bryant behind that.
But Kobe, okay, so there's a little Laker love in there.
Oh yeah,
somewhere.
I'm a Laker fan. Not so much since LeBron came, but
really, still mad at LeBron? Okay.
That first championship when he acted like a baby, I can't get over it.
Wow. Okay. All right. Well, we'll see if he stays or if he goes. But you have speaking of sports, you have a golf tournament coming up. It's a all charities fund, and I didn't realize you had so many charities. Teamsters 848 Youth Disabilities Fund, College Scholarship Fund, Summer Camp. All of these are benefiting from this big
all
tournament.
those are underneath the umbrella of our all charities, so that's where the money's going. Speech and language, which is a children's school for autistic children. We have Michael's Learning Center, which they're a school, or they actually have at the school they have a bakery, so they make cookies. Autistic children are making the cookies, as well as they do they have a printing shop, so they've actually taught them how to print, shirts, and some of our stuff, our Teamster stuff, is made by them.
That's cool. And all of these are things that I imagine have grown over the years out of various people's interest and involvement. College scholarship fund is always good.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We don't want our members to have to rely on driving a truck, so we want them to go to our kids to go to college. So we started a scholarship fund.
Right, in case your kids don't want to follow in your footsteps. Although one of yours kind of has, right?
My daughter is, although she went to college, she actually has her master's degree. But that's the sad thing about the economy. Teamster job was better than what she could find after she got out of college.
Wow.
So I got her a job with a full medical and a pension, and she can't find anything better.
And she's probably killing the game.
Yeah,
I'm sure she is.
Very smart girl.
And you also have a child who has autism.
I do. He'll be 29 this year in a couple months. High functioning, so he can cook and answer the phone, and if I text him, he can actually respond back to me. But he mainly stays at home and does his project. He makes costume jewelry and sells it. His mother takes him to shows where he can sell his jewelry.
That's amazing. You guys are a power couple.
Yeah.
At least more than 3 decades in, right?
Yeah, we
love to see it.
35 years.
Yeah.
of an institution.
So, but I mean, as a parent of a child with autism, I'm sure you have a deeper understanding of what it is that you're supporting with, with that particular charity of helping youth with disabilities.
Yeah, I know a lot about how autistic children think, that they don't see things the way we do. I mean, my son could multiply before he could add. If he had to add something up, he'd count on his fingers to do it, but he kept getting the numbers in his head. And I'm screaming at him, "How are you doing that?" Because I want to know how you're doing that, and I'll teach you how to add. But he was a freak with Legos, so his room is all these different Lego things that he's built, and he can read those directions that none of us can understand, and see what is different on each picture to build all this stuff.
Yeah, because I know just from my own family and my friend circle that with black children, they often don't get the diagnosis, and all kinds of different, they're said to have a behavior problem, or there is some other kind of conclusion is jumped to other than that this person is autistic and needs appropriate support for that disability.
Yeah, my son was diagnosed early on. When he had hair, he has alopecia now, so he has no hair on his body anywhere. But when he was born, he had a head full of hair, but he had 2 hair swirls, one on each side of his head. And somebody said that's a trait of autism, that both sides of the brain are working because, both sides are going in a different direction. So got him diagnosed, and lo and behold, he was autistic.
Wow. So I understand that the support of these charities that you have is ongoing, and anyone could donate, anyone could pitch in. Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, the golf tournament is sold out.
Yeah. All our spaces are gone. We probably need to get to a second, where we can have a second course to get more people involved on the course. But for this year, there's no more golfers.
Right, so you can donate, right?
Or you can all cash, all checks.
You can donate to the charity, or you can try to get in line for next year's tournament. And but is this? I remember a long time ago going to Jim Brown's tournament. He used to have a golf tournament in L.A.
Mm-hmm.
I met Bill Russell there, and all kind. I mean, it's just like,
Yeah.
gathering of the icons. Is it about networking? Is it about union organizing? Or is it just charitable, let's have some fun?
Yeah, well, I'm not sure what the conversations on the course are.
You never know, right?
Usually I'll play with one of my companies that are out there, and we may talk about a little business or a grievance here and there.
A grievance here and there. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But some politicians are going to show up tomorrow. Ron Brown, the ex-Raider, ex-Ram football player, is going to be there as well. And a few other celebrities out here is going to show up as well as yourself.
Yeah, I'll be there, but I won't be golfing. I'm not talented in that area, sorry to say.
Well, we will definitely enjoy you emceeing the.
I'm good with grievances, though. If you want to bring those, I'm pretty good with those.
Take a couple employers over to you and allow you to explain it to them.
You want to get more info, or if you want to donate, Teamsters848.org, Teamsters848.org. If I'm a young person who doesn't have a master's degree, like your daughter, and I want to get a union job, or if I want to get a union job in an existing local, what would you advise?
Well, Teamsters Local 848 has a list of companies where you can go and apply. So call the local and tell them what your trade is. If it's a warehouse worker or truck driver or bus driver, and we'll send you in a direction.
All right.
To help you out.
So start with the local. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, unless there's if you already have a job, the easiest thing to do is to organize the one you got. That way you don't have to start over.
Well, easy, I don't know if easy is the word I would use, but
yeah,
maybe the most productive.
Yeah, I mean, seniority is a big deal. And so if you have to leave that job and then start at the bottom of the seniority list, it's a little tough.
Yeah.
So
you have to work your way up.
Organize your current position.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, it seems like that is happening. We talked about that more and more. I see a judge ruled against Starbucks yesterday. They were suing the union, not Starbucks, Trader Joe's. They were suing their fledgling union, trying to say they were infringing on the copyright by doing sort of parodies of the logo as part of their organizing. Judge said, nice try, but no. And it seems like, well, what I do know from polling that I've seen is that public opinion has swayed towards unions. We are about to go into news, traffic, and sports, but I want to get your thoughts on that. Like, how does that help? Why do you think that's happening? What does it mean for us getting to France levels? I never knew France was at 90%. I might have to, I love that. Yeah. And I know in other countries, too, that there's a more robust movement, because I think it's partly because there's less union busting that goes on. But after news, traffic, and sports, I want to get your thoughts about why we are where we are with that in this country, and what it means for the future of workers, especially in a time with AI and so many other things appear to be stacked against the worker. And we'll talk more with Eric Tate and you. You're welcome on 800-920-1580. We are unapologetically progressive, KBLA, Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Welcome to a Wednesday. It's May 1st. I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Vice President Kamala Harris will be promoting reproductive rights in Florida today, the same day as the state's 6-week abortion ban takes effect. The Biden-Harris campaign says the vice president will be in Jacksonville to discuss what they see as harms that will be inflicted by the abortion ban. Disgraced movie producer Harvey Weinstein is expected in court today in Manhattan ahead of a possible new trial. The rearrangement is nearly a week after the New York Court of Appeals overturned his 2020 sex crimes conviction, ruling Weinstein didn't receive a fair trial. The court found the judge in his trial made an error allowing women to testify about alleged sexual assaults committed by Weinstein that were not part of the charges against him. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network, and BINnews.com.
Why settle for ordinary when you can have extraordinary hair? Visit your local SoCal FS Cut and Color salon today and let their team of expert stylists pamper you with affordable luxury. Get a free shampoo with every cut. Book your appointment today at fantasticsands.com.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Clippers don't have to worry about a game-time decision tonight for Kawhi Leonard. The team found out Tuesday afternoon that their leading scorer will not play in Game 5 against Dallas at Crypto.com. Kawhi still has inflammation in his right knee. This will be the third game Kawhi has missed in the first-round series. The Clippers are 2-0 in this series without Kawhi. In the 2 wins, the Clippers are averaging 21 more points and shooting 50%. Don't get it twisted. No one in Clippers Nation is saying the team can contend for the Western Conference title without Kawhi. For the Clippers to go deep in the NBA playoffs, it's pretty much understood that they will need a healthy Kawhi Leonard. 7 p.m. tip-off tonight on TNT. After 1 month of the Major League Baseball season, Dodgers shortstop Mookie Betts leads the majors with a .377 batting average. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
To help combat climate change, LADWP is helping neighborhoods have better access to electric vehicles by awarding nearly $130 million in EV rebates to customers just like you. From big savings on used EVs to building new charging plazas, LADWP is charging ahead to help all Angelinos experience the benefits of EVs. Get rebates of up to $4,000 for a used EV and $1,750 for a charger. Learn more at ladwp.com/EV. That's ladwp.com/EV. Do you support public education? More than 38,000 educators at United Teachers Los Angeles do too. Together, we have fought for a better public education for our students and communities, and having you on our side has been essential in our fight for better public schools. Together, we will continue to work for public schools with green spaces, more mental health staff, smaller class sizes at every grade level, and a higher investment in the Black Student Achievement Plan. We are UTLA, and you make us stronger.
Yeah, y'all, come on. Pick up the drums.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we fight the power every day.
Yeah, gotta give us what we want. Gotta give us what we need. Hey.
I listen to KBLA and I love the commercials. I know what the commercials mean. I also, if I'm looking and trying to figure something out, I need something to talk to me that might hit me. And it happens on TV because, you know, every time they show a sporting event, they got the pharmaceutical companies back to back telling people how to fix the sickness on the same stuff that they sell them. So we get it.
Yep, we get it too, Chuck D. And that's why at KBLA Talk 1580, we don't black down.
Drop it! Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be. Fight the power! Fight the power!
When you use Bounce dryer sheets and your clothes look amazing, it's the sheet. Less static in your life? Yeah, it's the sheet. Smelling fresher than ever? It's the sheet. Oh, so soft fabric? Ooh la la. It's the sheet. Less wrinkles on your clothes? You know it's the sheet. Bounce dryer sheets. More freshness, more softness. Less static, less wrinkles. It's the sheet.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
And we are talking with Eric Tate. He's with the Teamsters Local 848. And we're talking with you, 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. I teed up before news, traffic, and sports about how the public perception of unions really has moved. The polling is showing, I think it's about 70% right now, the American people think unions are a good thing. If you go back a decade or two, that wasn't the case.
Right.
What do you think that's about?
I probably think the companies. I mean, the companies have gotten so greedy and, you know, taking and trying to bring wages down on employees so much that, I mean, they had nowhere else to turn. So they came, they asked, they found out, you know, what we were here for, and you know, I figure once we talk to them, they'll never leave us. But
yeah. I mean, it's
hard to get to them, though.
Yeah, but I think that's right. The constant gouging, the bigger and bigger gap between corporate CEO pay and the average worker's pay, coupled with inflation and the minimum wage stagnancy, all these things.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure all the workers would love to have a golden parachute if I get fired from this job.
Same, yeah. I don't think I've ever had one of those. But I think you mentioned earlier that public perception does make it easier to organize people, to unionize, and so that is sort of a snowball effect.
Yeah, and then you can see the difference between a union job and a non-union job. I mean, the benefits, the wages, everything is better. So,
real talk. One thing I think is also underrated is how much unions help even people who aren't in them, because they raise the floor, right?
Yeah. So companies will pay their people more to keep them from going into the union. So
yeah, I mean, we saw that, even with UAW, with their contract, right? The non-union companies raised their wages. They did not unionize those plants, but they got raises, not anything like the union shops got, but they still got raises right when the new contract kicked
Local
in.
Freight represents 3 Toyota plants out here in Southern California. And the non-union plant that's in Ontario got raises after that UAW contract.
So even within the same automaker, you have some that are union, and I didn't know that, and some that aren't.
Teamsters are in everything.
I just thought that some, like, if you were Ford, all your plants would be union, and if you were Tesla, all your plants would be non-union. I didn't know that there were automakers that had some union shops and some that aren't.
I mean, it has to be organized, so.
Shop by shop by shop.
Yeah, shop by shop.
I don't know why I never thought about that. Let's go to JW calling us from LA. Hi, JW.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. Welcome.
Yeah, I think that's a breath of fresh air that brother is the president because one reason. The union will expand the middle class in terms of economics and make everybody able to have a decent living and be able to thrive instead of survive.
Yeah.
I came up under out of high school, the Los Angeles Urban League got me in the sheet metal trade, local union 75, and I regret that when I left here from LA and moved to Chicago, I was like a scab, and I worked in a non-union shop. It was a black man's shop, and he owned his own sheet metal shop. But that's another story. But the point I'm trying to make is this. I became a tractor-trailer operator. The term they use is a professional tractor-trailer operator, but it's a truck driver. I drove a truck for 18-wheeler for 48 states for years. I'm a retired truck driver. Well, before I went over the road, well, actually after I came back, and I was in and out the truck, I became a Teamster union, and I ran containers out there to the port. And I was thinking about, in my latter years, referring to my age now, going to Local 12 and becoming a heavy equipment operator, because that's the engineer union, Local 12. And I wanted to do that because I'm having issues, being a caregiver for my mom and various things. I'm 68 and I'm up in age, and I'm blind in one eye, so the Department of DOT.
So, JW, I mean, I appreciate you sharing your story and your testimony. Do you have a question for Eric Tate, or you just wanted to give the testimony?
Well, it was pretty much a combination of both. Give it a back history of myself being associated with the unions, as well as giving him his props for being the president, and hopefully he will get allies with all the various different unions, more specifically the iron workers and all the other unions, and because this is the largest voting bloc, can mobilize the black community.
All right. Well, thank you, JW. Appreciate the
Yeah.
backstory.
Yeah, thank you for the call.
I'm sure everywhere you go, you probably meet people who, are retired from the business or, from the union or have testimonials that they share with you.
Well, yeah, retirees are the best to talk to because I always want to ask them how their pension's doing. And
how's that pension treating
I
you?
want to one day get to that point where all I got to do is go to the mailbox and get that check out of there.
Yeah.
That's the dream. I understand it shows up on time every month, so I can't wait.
I'm not mad at that. I'm hearing and seeing with my own eyes I will call it a shift to the right among a sizable number of union members, and not specifically in your union, but across the country. We've seen some unions endorsing here and there, Republican endorsing Trump, or nobody. And I just wonder, because it seems so clear to me that Republicans are the party that is anti-union, that is undermining workers, that is getting rid of safety protections, making it harder to unionize, against and blocking raises to the minimum wage. So for me, I'm having trouble getting my mind around how a union worker, rank and file, or a union organizer like yourself, how they could embrace a party that actively is anti-labor. It's not make it make sense.
Well, I mean, unfortunately, many of, and including my members, they're watching Fox News, and Fox News is lying to them. They're telling them things that are absolutely untrue, and they're believing everything they hear. The International has decided to do a poll because they're trying to decide who. For some reason, they're trying to decide who they're going to endorse for president. In my opinion, it was obvious, but this is what they're doing. So each local has to do a vote, an actual ballot vote, and we did ours not this past Sunday, but the Sunday before, and Trump won. in my local, which was
wow.
But if you look at the vote, Trump got 86, 70 went to Biden. They put JFK on there, JFK Jr. on there, and he got 42, and
RFK,
no endorsement got 50. I mean, if you add up, all these other people, the majority of them didn't vote for Trump.
But it's splintered.
Yeah.
They
watered it down so much that.
So in the case of your union, the third-party candidates, which is Jill Stein, RFK Jr., and Cornel West, did.
Well, Cornel West didn't get any votes. Jill Stein wasn't on the ballot. I don't know why she didn't get put on there.
Cornel didn't get any votes. Wow, Dr. West. Wow. So it was RFK.
RFK with 42 undecided or no endorsement got 50, and then undecided
Trump
was still at 30.
Won.
86 for Trump in my.
Trump won. I mean, I get that you're saying if you add all the votes against him, it still doesn't. He didn't win the majority, but still he won the endorsement.
Well, he won that particular ballot.
Yeah.
We'll see what the International does with their endorsement.
I mean, but it does seem to affirm this idea that there is a strong core of Trump's support in the labor movement, and I don't get it. I mean, even that whole stunt with the UAW where he said he was going to, Detroit to go to a union plant, and then he went to a non-unionized battery factory and stood there and pretended like it was a union plant. And then Biden was actually on the picket line with the workers. That makes my head explode.
And they're confused because I know on the ballot it also asked them, what was their most important things, as far as
their priorities
And the ones that were voting for Trump are also saying union security. So they're obviously confused because he is not going to give you that. In no way, shape, or form. I mean, even in his own hotels, Trump fought the union tooth and nail. So we don't expect him to suddenly change and be pro-union.
Yeah, and that would be a sudden change. I think that there's a sense some people have that they'll be rich like him if they vote for him. They'll also be a boss, and they'll be able to rip off their workers. I mean, also, he's got a track record of ripping off contractors, truckers, builders. So it just...
And I believe they can be rich like him because he's just saying he's rich. So I mean, if you want to run around and tell people you're rich, then you'll be just like him. Because I mean, after he gets done with all these cases, he's got to go through. He's not going to be in too good a position with his money.
Yeah, we're talking with Eric Tate. He's the Secretary Treasurer of Local 848 Teamsters. You're welcome to get in the conversation, 800-920-1580. You can get in the conversation. You can't get in the golf tournament, not this year, but you can try for next year, and you are welcome to donate to the great causes that are part of that. You're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
The station you turn to when you've had it up to here with cultural incompetence. KBLA Talk 1580.
Getting connected has never been easier. Get free Wi-Fi at all LA County library locations, inside the library and outside in the parking lots. Visit your local library and get connected today. Do you support public education? More than 38,000 educators at United Teachers Los Angeles do too. Together, we have fought for a better public education for our students and communities, and having you on our side has been essential in our fight for better public schools. Together, we will continue to work for public schools with green spaces, more mental health staff, smaller class sizes at every grade level, and a higher investment in the Black Student Achievement Plan. We are UTLA, and you make us stronger.
JP Morgan Chase is building on the investments in California to help close the racial wealth gap and build a more equitable future. Visit jpmorganchase.com/racial equity and get the tools to help reach your financial goals.
Broadcasting live from Leimert Park, USA. Welcome back to your home for unapologetically progressive radio. KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580. We got some folks on the phone that want to talk to you, so we'll squeeze them in before we run out of time. The golf tournament is tomorrow, but the charitable work is ongoing. They can show up anytime, make a donation, or I assume some folks are probably trying to apply for those scholarships. Same thing, go to your website.
Scholarships are for members of Teamsters Local 848.
Oh, so you got to get in the union or have a parent in there, I imagine.
Yeah, so the members of Local 848 children can apply, and you know somebody's going to win it.
Absolutely. Okay, let's go to Sharonda calling us from Inglewood. Good morning.
Good morning, Dominique. I didn't hear your guest this morning. I kind of joined in the middle of your conversation, but I just want to really quickly say that, I'm an angry black woman. No, I'm just kidding. I just want to say that I honestly always say and believe in my heart of hearts, those people who support Trump, the union, like the poor, the rural area people who he doesn't have no benefits. I say that their hate and racism means more to them than their own future, their own self-interest, their children, their grandchildren. It's just that deep. Look at McConnell. He's wealthy. His family will never need another dime. He still supports Trump. They're just evil. It's pure evil. And that's the only explanation I have, because you're going against your future, your grandchildren, your children, yourself. And it's just crazy. I just say it's just evil, because what other explanation do you have to go against climate for your children and, your future generations,
Yeah, well, I think, that I... For the most part, I agree with that. I do think, though, that Eric Tate, that's our guest, he's the Secretary Treasurer of Local 848, the Teamsters. I do think that what he said about people, members watching media, Fox News or OAN or whatever, they're watching that social media silos convince them of things that aren't true, right? That's, that it's a zero-sum game, that if black people rise, you fall, that... Trump is pro-union. You saw he went out there and posed in front of a fake union factory, so people that are watching OAN could say, yeah, he stands with the unions, instead of looking at what he did to the Labor Department when he was in office, and how different the Labor Department is under President Biden. So I do think there's confusion and trickeration, and then some folks are just plain evil. Yeah, we're going to leave you an unlivable planet. Because if you look at Project 2025, he's clear that, you know, they're getting rid of all green jobs, any kind of, you know, controls on anything that can save the planet. Sharonda, you got anything else?
Yeah, just one more thing I wanted to say is that, oh my God, what was I going to say? Oh, and I'm just sick of people using that excuse. Oh, they only watch QAnon or Fox, and I get it, but they're grown people. I'm so sick of that excuse. Like, they need to do what they need to do to learn the truth. You know, it's out there. They're willfully ignorant in watching that because it's just in their soul. Because I'm so tired of that excuse that, oh, they're brainwashing. It's so sad, and they need to get pulled out of that. And I just feel like that's not nobody's responsibility. These are grown people, senior citizens, that's with this foolishness, you know?
I feel you. I mean, media literacy is top of my list. We have to be able to say, follow the money, who made this post, who owns this network, what is their agenda, and how does this serve them? But not everyone is that sophisticated.
And, everybody's not a leader. So, you know, some of us are leaders, others are followers, and the ones that follow are going to follow someone, even if it's the wrong person.
Thank you, Sharonda. You know I love when you give me a call. Sharonda comes with energy when she calls. We got Sandra calling from LA. Hi, Sandra. Sandra, you there? Testing 1, 2. Sandra, please come to the KBLA phone. Guess we've lost Sandra. Maybe she'll call back. You know, this is KBLA. We don't black down. We're unapologetically progressive. Right. And so I'm sure you're not shocked to hear that. And that must be interesting, too, as a leader of 848. You've got the whole spectrum. You've got black folks and progressive folks and Latino folks and some even, you know, black Latino folks who are on the MAGA side. And some. You've got to lead everybody.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I always say you can vote for whoever you want as long as you vote for me. So.
Yeah. Well, we just saw a new policy coming out of the Biden administration, which is now going to make more people eligible for overtime, right?
Correct.
So if you were on a salary, if you are on a salary, there's a level at which you don't get overtime because you're just everything is covered by your salary, right?
Yeah, I'm looking into that. I actually asked my attorney over the weekend about that law because I have truck drivers in the port. If you handle cargo that goes in or out of the country, you're exempt. Federal law exempts you from getting overtime.
Wow.
And so I'm hoping this law, brings overtime to those folks at the port.
Well, they're saying that it's millions of Americans who will now be eligible, millions of employees who now will be eligible because before the salary level was lower in order for you to get that overtime pay, and now it's going up. And so that, to me, that's a win. And these are the kinds of things that happen. Let's see, it increases to $43,888 in 2025. Now, and then in 2025 it increases to $58,600. So if you make less than $58,000 starting in 2025, you would still be eligible for overtime. Right. And that's going to be a big shift for a lot of people. It means you don't work endless hours for your little $35K.
Yeah. If you can get that up there near my salary, because I'm working a lot of overtime. I'm not getting anything for it.
Yeah, well, you're going to have to work on that, Eric.
Keep it going up. You're getting closer.
Yeah. And I think when we talk about what people know and what they don't know, maybe part of my job is to do a better job of tracking the wins, right? To me, that's a win.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely a win. I mean, anytime you can get working people more money is a win.
Right.
However you get it.
And also when you see the American people moving more towards unions in terms of embracing the concept, and then I think people don't understand the kinds of obstacles that can be put in place by governments, by politicians, to make it harder for people to organize their workplaces.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's why, we have a drive program where we give money to politicians that are going to do what things that are beneficial to the union and to working people. You got to get the right people in the right place, to keep everything running on a steady plane.
Yeah. So pay attention.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What do you want people to know, about Teamsters? Maybe the most one of the most famous unions for sure in the world, and certainly the union that's in the most movie mentions. What do you want people to know? What do we get wrong and what do we get right?
Well, we're not thugs. We're not criminals.
I'm laughing, but I can only imagine what you deal with people.
I'm not Italian, so
yeah. Well.
They say they're all Italian and mob related, which is not the case.
Yeah. I'm half Italian. Don't hold it against me.
It may have been the case. It may have been the case back in the day, but today, we're businessmen, just like the people on the corporate side. We may not make the type of salaries they make, but we're negotiating contracts and getting more for our members, and I don't wear a suit, but I am doing business.
You don't wear a suit because you don't have to.
Yeah. Well, I want to be my members. My members aren't wearing suits to work, and so I'm not going to wear a suit to work.
I gotcha.
Some people think that they have to dress the part. I'm going to do the part. What I do is going to show enough. I don't have to dress in a jacket to impress you at the table. I'll get it done with words and understanding of what these members need.
You a good golfer?
I managed not to get kicked off the course for tearing up the course. I don't get to play very often, so.
Yeah, I know. The only time I ever played, I was had to substitute for another, on-air personality, and they threw me into a tournament. It was very traumatizing. But I'm looking forward to your tournament tomorrow.
Yes.
And supporting the charitable work that you guys are doing with Local 848.
Yeah, and if you can't, you can't come and golf, but you can come and help us, get the program together.
Come hang out.
Yeah.
So tell us again how to track you. What's going on with the union and what's going on with Eric Tate?
I'm tracked. We have our social media. Teamsters Local 848 or Team 848 is our call letters. We're on all social media. I'll give a shout out to Ron Pat, who's my media director. He does our videos, and if you look at us on TikTok and YouTube, you'll see some videos.
What? You're on TikTok?
Oh yeah, our union meetings are packed. We got 300 to 500 people at our union meetings, and I just redid the hall with all the different TVs and everything. So check us out.
All right. Well, Eric Tate, it is a pleasure to meet you. Thank you for all the work you're doing.
Thank you very much.
It is a Wealth Building Wednesday. Right now we've got news, traffic, and sports, and I invite you, as always, to call me 800-920-1580. We are KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
Welcome to a Wednesday. It's May 1st, promoting reproductive rights in Florida today, the same day as the state's 6-week abortion ban takes effect. The Biden-Harris campaign